Hey there, welcome. I want to talk to you about the invisible world today. And you are tuned in, locked in, focused in on the Meta 5 Manifestation. Meta5manifestation.com. Head on over there. Well, you know what you can see, you know what you can feel, you know what you want, you know your thoughts. You can experience them through your body. You can feel. You can feel happy or sad. You can feel nervous. You can feel all these sorts of things. You can feel the aggravation, can't you, of wanting something, maybe not quite being able to achieve it. Well, I want to mention or talk to you or focus on the fact that there is an invisible world right in front of your nose. You can't see it, but you can access it. You can certainly access it really quickly, and I'm going to show you how. After I explain it, you will understand it. Well, all things exist. All things and all potentials of all things exist. And our imagination is the way to bridge the gap, the bridge between what is visible and what is invisible. Now, when I say what is visible and invisible, here's what I mean, right? What is visible is what is around you right now. And you may like what's around you, and I want to ask you right now to look around you. Look at the state of your life and think about all the things that you like about that and all the things that you dislike about that. Now, if you were to pick one thing right now, what would you change? What would you want to change? And now ask yourself, after you have identified that, do you know how to change that thing? Well, if you don't, then here's how to do that. Okay? And it's by going into the invisible world, right? The invisible world really is the existence of all things in their potential state. Okay? Now, Neville Goddard talked about this in one of his lectures, and he used a metaphor from the Bible about fishes in the sea and birds in the air and the animals in the Garden of Eden. And what he said was this was a metaphor for us. When we think about our goals and when we manifest things, it's like fishing in the deep and we're going to pull up a fish, right? That's the metaphor of this future state of being, okay? Now, we access this invisible world, the future, which coexists simultaneously with us through our imagination. That's right. How do we get to where we want to be, right? We get there through our imagination. That's how we bridge from what we can perceive within our realm of conscious awareness and perception to that which we want, which to our limited thinking doesn't exist, right? We think, how can I get that? Oh, how is this possible? It's impossible. Well, with faith through action, through completed successful action, you can have faith in the process that you can achieve these things, okay? And you can do this in different ways. One, you can think about things you've already accomplished and use that as a pattern, but you can also just know that you can achieve anything you want, any state you want, by simply using your imagination. And that's how you reach out with your line and cast down and catch that fish. That's how you reach out into the spheres, the realms, the planes, whatever you want to call it, the universe, the subconscious, and how you access that state, okay? It's not by repeated affirmations. It's not by rituals. It's not by burning incense or incantations. It's literally just through using your imagination. So when you close your eyes and you imagine a state where you want to be or in which you'd like to be, you've just bridged it. You've just achieved it. That's how you touch it. It's that easy, okay? You don't need any fancy things. That's all you have to do. Now you can use this imaginal state to actually bridge and get what you want, right? So maybe you want a relationship and maybe that person's not sort of being acceptable to how you think. Well, you can imagine that person how you want. Or maybe if you're wanting a certain amount of money, you can imagine that. Just imagine it, okay? And it has to have a charge, which is an emotional state which allows you to connect to that imaginal act, okay? And you have to be there. Now, here's a crucial fact that you have to really, really listen to me now. Now, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, okay? When we imagine things, okay, you have to imagine yourself from the scene, right? Don't imagine yourself in the scene. Imagine yourself, you have to imagine yourself from that, okay? So it's not like you're looking at yourself from the outside and seeing yourself there. You have to fully immerse yourself in this imaginal act, okay? If you're gonna see yourself at a certain location, you kind of want to like astral project yourself in a way, like visualize yourself. Now, Neville Goddard did this in practice, and maybe you can use this to sort of build your mind muscle up enough. And I used to practice this. And so maybe you can sit in a chair in a room and imagine yourself in another place of the room, looking out from that perspective. Try it. See if you can do that, okay? Imagine yourself into that reality from the first person perspective, right? Imagine yourself from the end. That's what is meant by living in the end. It's literally being in that end state, because here's what happens with manifestation. You don't create the bridge of incidence, right? Once you imagine that end state, if you do that correctly, you don't have to work to take the steps to reach that end state. That end state comes to you. This is the most crucial and amazing part about how manifestation actually works, okay? When you live in that state and you wear that state about your day, or in different powerful times of the day, such as when you go to sleep or when you wake up, or if you just want to sit and meditate and really focus on that state for a while, that state, once it's created, once you're catching that fish, once you're latched onto that state will come to you. How do you know it will come to you? By events, by things that will happen, that'll just come right into your life. Now it's your job at that point to take those things and act on those things once they present themselves. But it's the equivalent in the metaphor of my previous videos of the Garden of God, right? You're imagining planting. You're planting spiritually, not physically. And I said that when you plant spiritually, you plant by becoming the state that you like to be, and then you will see fruits and you will see flowers. Well, the metaphor in this lesson, the fruits and flowers are the bridge of incidence, things that appear to you that you can take and latch onto. So it's already in front of you. Everything is already in front of you. All you have to do is use your imagination. Go into an imaginal act. And it doesn't have to be too elaborate or too long, but really place yourself. But it has to be something that implies that reality has been fulfilled in your imaginal act, like talking to a friend or receiving something. And for me, I like to add a little bit of tension, because it depends on which emotional state really rocks your world, okay? Because it has to be something that's going to really drive into you. I used to try to get very positive about outcomes, imagine myself in the most joyous state, but for me, that doesn't really work, yeah? But I always imagine a little bit of stress, like when I want something, like somebody's asking me something or talking to me, but I achieved it, but it's giving me a little bit of anxiety, right? Even though I've accepted it. And this may sound strange, but this is just how I work. And it works best for me sometimes. But you have to create the scene, and you have to learn to do this and practice this. Practice this with small things. But this is how you reach out to create new realities, to touch the invisible and make it visible. And then also to have faith, which is really trust and knowing that things will happen. And once you create that imaginal act, knowing after the fact that, oh my gosh, yes, I can't wait. I'm excited to see how it's going to bear fruits, right? Once you're done, you can get excited and say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what's going to show up in my life next, because this is going to be really, really cool. So again, it's like the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter, but kind of a twist on it, right? When he put on the cloak, he disappeared, but really he's still there. And how do you see him? But the cloak is something that's covering your reality. Now, you can unveil all of these invisible states and make them visible. Yeah, this is what you're doing with your imagination. And imagination creates reality. Imaginal acts create facts, right? Thoughts become things. All these flip-floppy phrases that are really, really cool abound. So I hope you enjoyed this. Go out and practice this. Love you. Take care. And you guys are locked in to Meta 5 Manifestation. Meta5manifestation.com. Take the free class over at meta5manifestation.com/free class. All right. See you in the next one.